Hello and welcome to the Life Strategies Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Jones, and today's episode is a special one. As we reflect on the events of September 11, we are reminded of the unimaginable grief, but also the incredible resilience and unity that followed. It was a day that changed the world and left a lasting impact on so many lives. Today we're going to talk about how faith, hope, and love help us find strength even in the wake of tragedy. We'll also explore ways to nurture both our spirit and body during times of immense grief and loss, drawing on practical strategies for emotional and physical healing. I'll share some personal reflections along with powerful reminders of how we can continue to honor those we lost while moving forward in hope. September 11, 2001 is a day etched into our collective memory. It was a day of unimaginable loss, a moment when the world stopped and watched in disbelief. Thousands of lives were lost, families were shattered, and a nation was left to grapple with its grief. But in the midst of that sorrow, we saw something incredible. People coming together in unity, courage, and compassion. We witnessed acts of heroism from first responders, ordinary citizens risking their lives to help others, and communities across the world rallying in support. It was a powerful reminder that even in the darkest moments, love endures. We all grieve differently, and the events of that day touched each of us in unique ways. Whether you lost a loved one, witnessed a tragedy unfold, or have carried the emotional weight of that day for years, it's important to remember that your feelings are valid. Grief is not something we get over, but something we learn to live with, finding ways to honor those we've lost while continuing to move forward. One of the most powerful tools we have when navigating tragedy is faith. For many of us, faith serves as an anchor, something solid to hold on to when everything else feels unstable. In the aftermath of September 11, faith communities played a huge role in helping people process their grief and find hope. When we face moments of overwhelming pain and loss, it's natural to have questions. We ask, why did this happen? Or, where is God in this tragedy? These are questions that have no easy answers, but faith offers us something deeper. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, God is with us. In Psalm 34:18, we're reminded that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This scripture offers comfort, knowing that we don't walk through grief alone. God is right there, offering His presence and peace. For those who lost loved ones on September 11, faith became a way to remember that their lives weren't lost in vain. Their memory lives on, and the love they shared with their families and communities continues to impact the world. While faith keeps us grounded, hope propels us forward. After a tragedy like September 11, hope might feel distant or even impossible, but it's one of the most important parts of the healing process. Romans 5:3-4 reminds us that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character hope. It's not that we are expected to suddenly feel hopeful after loss, but rather that, over time, through small steps of healing, hope reemerges. Hope doesn't always look like grand gestures. It can be found in the small, everyday moments, seeing a community rebuild, hearing a story of kindness, or witnessing the sunrise after a sleepless night. Each of these moments reminds us that there is light even after the darkest of days. On a personal level, after September 11, hope manifested in the form of countless organizations and movements created to honor the victims and their families. People across the world began advocating for peace, building memorials, and establishing scholarships in the names of those we lost. These are all acts of hope, rooted in the belief that while we cannot change the past, we can shape a better future. Of the three, faith, hope, and love is the greatest. 1 Corinthians 13:13 reminds us that love is eternal. While we may lose those we love, the bond we share with them never fades. In the aftermath of September 11, we saw love in action. People from all walks of life came together to comfort one another, to rebuild, and to remember. It was love that drove first responders to rush into danger, love that helped families cope, and love that inspired the world to unite in the face of hatred and violence. But love is not just something we give. It's also something we must allow ourselves to receive. If you are struggling with grief, whether from the events of September 11 or any other loss, I encourage you to open yourself to the love and support of others. Grief can often make us feel isolated, but the love of family, friends, and community is here to lift us up. Grief doesn't just affect us emotionally. It can take a serious toll on our physical health as well. That's why it's important to care for your body, especially during times of intense emotional strain. First, let's talk about nutrition. When we're grieving, it's easy to fall into unhealthy eating patterns. We may either overeat to comfort ourselves or lose our appetite altogether. But keeping your body nourished is essential for your overall well-being. Try incorporating foods rich in nutrients that can support your emotional health, such as omega-3 fatty acids found in fish and walnuts, or leafy greens packed with antioxidants. Now on to exercise. It might seem counterintuitive to think about physical activity when you're weighed down by grief, but exercise can be a powerful tool for emotional release. Moving your body, whether it's through walking, yoga, or another form of gentle exercise, helps reduce stress and improve your mood. Exercise releases endorphins, which are natural mood lifters. Plus, it gives you a sense of routine and control when everything else feels uncertain. As we reflect on September 11, let's remember that we are part of a larger community. We may not have all experienced the same losses, but we are united by our shared humanity and the desire to create a better future. We honor those we've lost by continuing to live with faith, hope, and love. By taking care of ourselves and each other, we can find healing and strength even in the midst of the most difficult times. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Life Strategies Podcast. The events of September 11 left a permanent mark on our hearts, but they also reminded us of the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Faith, hope, and love are the guiding lights that will continue to lead us through grief and toward healing. If you or someone you know is struggling with grief, I encourage you to reach out for support. You don't have to walk this journey alone. Remember, healing takes time, and every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward a brighter future. Until next time, take care of your body, mind, and soul. Together, we'll continue to honor the past while moving forward in love. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who might need it. You can also subscribe to the Life Strategies Podcast for more conversations about navigating life's transitions with faith, hope, and love. Stay connected, and remember, you are never alone. And as always, I wish you faith, hope, and love in your life. Bye for now. See you next time.